It always starts the same way. Someone sees something they shouldn't, a moment so terrifying that it crawls under their skin and never leaves.
I'm concerned that you haven't been sleeping.
They try to ignore it,
Enough sleep. You have wounds that have never fully healed.
convince themselves it's just their mind playing tricks on them, but then they see the smile. Or at least, she did. It started with the dreams, not the kind you wake from, drenched in sweat, heart pounding, but safe in your bed. No, these were worse. They followed her. Laura hadn't slept in days, because the moment she closed her eyes, he was there.
I've really never been scared of anything like I'm scared of this man.
The first time she saw him, she thought maybe it was just a nightmare. By the 10th time, she wasn't so sure. So she went to a therapist.
Why are you here?
Somebody who could pull her back to reality.
What are you talking
Somebody
about?
who could tell her that she wasn't losing her mind.
Sometimes it looks like my grandfather who died in front of me when I was 7.
The things that he was seeing, they're real. I've seen them. Sometimes when we get emotionally overwhelmed or experience an intense trauma, our minds...
You're not listening to me! Oh my god!
This isn't just a monster. It's an infection. A curse. A pattern with no escape. And if you think you're safe, well then you've already lost. What killed Laura didn't die with her. It moved and journeyed into what had Rose hurting for all of her life. After the death of her patient, Rose began to lose fortitude she believed she had. A patient in the ward, Carl Rankin, who she knew was asleep, suddenly sat upright, grinning at her with an unnatural, knowing expression. When she screamed for help, normality took place. Carl hadn't moved at all. Her supervisor, Dr. Morgan Desai, saw her unraveling and forced her to take a week off. But time away from work did nothing to ease her torment. The hallucinations grew worse. People around her, her fiancé Trevor, her estranged sister Holly, all began questioning her sanity. And then came the birthday party. See, this is a turning point where she had lost complete control. It was effective in isolating her. It proved this entity could manipulate reality. Rose had bought a gift for her nephew. And she watched as he unwrapped it, with anticipation of joy, I assume. But changed when the torn open box revealed a dead animal. Suffocated, lifeless, the work of whatever darkness had taken over Rose. The only glimmer of hope was a man locked away in prison who escaped this demon. But the cost was great. He was seen to have hollowed eyes with a face of permanent fear.
I actually don't care about what you were accused of. What I need to know is what you experienced in the days leading up to it.
The fuck do you want from me?
What is it?
I don't know.
He figured out the only way to escape. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He passed it on.
You're not gonna give it back to me! Ah, get out of here!
Finally, somebody had passed it on. Not by dying, but by killing. It was a brutal, violent, bloody sacrifice. One that was witnessed. One that left somebody else traumatized. Rose could survive. She could live. Only if she was willing to condemn somebody else. Anybody else. But she wouldn't. So she wouldn't live. She couldn't live. Her death revealed that this entity wore many faces. It could whisper any voice. It showed up and taunted her in the form of her dead mother, her lost childhood, the pain she had to try bury. And she tried to break the cycle, she did, to end whatever this evil was, but she couldn't. It wouldn't die like she would die. 'Cause in the end, it wins. It always wins. Even if you survive, it still wins. Joel found her in an abandoned house, engulfed in flames, lifeless, but with a grin stretched across her face. He watched as the fire continued to consume her, knowing full well that this demon found its next home. It was him. Joel's fate was the final undeniable proof that the cycle could never be broken. Joel, he wasn't like the others. He knew about the entity before it got to him. He had seen what happened to Rose. He had researched the pattern. He knew all the knowledge that the previous victims never had. Yet, none of it saved him. Rose was the only one who tried to end the curse without killing somebody else.
Yeah, of course I'll stay with you. I'll stay with you forever.
She isolated herself, thinking if she died alone, the entity wouldn't have a witness. No witness, no trauma, no way for it to pass on. But the entity was always one step ahead. It tricked her, made her believe she had won, made her think she was free. And then, it smiled. By the time she realized she was still in the trap, it was already over. There is no way out. No trick, no loophole, no way to stop it. You can't run. It always finds you. You can't fight. It doesn't need to touch you to break you. You can't destroy it. It's not something that can be killed. Joel tried to do exactly what he knew would save himself, except this time, it didn't work. Something will always get in the way. You're doomed, even when you know how not to be. Even after surviving and passing on the curse, Rose made her way back to the very one person who managed to survive. The lesson here is that it doesn't end. Either you survive and someone else dies, or you die, but it won't end. The second film shows even if you do manage to kill somebody else, you have only just forced the burden onto another person, which only feeds the entity anyway. You might think isolation or no witnesses could break the chain, but the demon forces visions so powerful that you lose all control, and it will manipulate your reality, ensuring that there will be a witness at the moment of your death. The witness doesn't have to be voluntary. Anybody seeing the act will trigger the chain. The film explores the route of therapy as a way of overcoming your issues, but it also was proved as useless against this supernatural force. The second film emphasizes this. The curse operates outside rational or therapeutic means. My view on the demon and smile is that it won't allow anybody for salvation. There is only a temporary delay, or even displacement. And both films work together in how it shows nobody could outsmart this curse, because survival is a myth. Trauma always finds a new host. The only thing this demon does is survive, and anyone caught in its grasp is doomed to keep the cycle alive. Until we see a third act, believe this. The only survivor ended up back with somebody cursed by the same evil they managed to escape. So, they never escaped. They can't escape.
I don't remember texting that. How come I don't remember texting that?